UFOs are now hauntingly familiar. They have shared our skies for an uneasy 50 years. Eyewitness accounts testify to their breathtaking speed, unparalleled maneuverability, and uncanny silence. They are different than any aircraft made here on Earth. These stealthy visitors are called UFOs, unidentified flying objects. They have shown up unexpectedly in photographs taken all across the globe. Yet if we turn back the pages of history, there are intriguing hints that UFOs have been with us all along. Perhaps even as far back as 12,000 years ago, when our ancestors found shelter in the darkness of caves. The walls of these primitive dwellings were often painted with figures of hunters and the animals they hoped to snare. Recently, other images have come to light. These tracings were made from caves in France and Spain, and they show pictures not ordinarily associated with hunting.
Their shapes are very peculiar because they do oftentimes look like UFOs and saucers. And I'm not saying that they are UFOs or that they do represent craft of any type, only that they have a similarity to what we now perceive as maybe craft from another planet as UFOs. And one wonders where the cave people were getting the impetus for putting these on their walls. Obviously, putting paintings on cave walls was a laborious process, and you would only put down the most important things of your daily life. And here these objects appear not once, not twice, but fairly numerous times on the cave walls.
Some 4,000 years ago, scribes recorded what sounds like the sighting of UFOs during the reign of a pharaoh named Thutmose III.
In the year 22 of the third month of the winter, a circle of fire appeared in the sky. After some days it became more numerous and shone with the brightness of the sun, extending to the very limits of the heavens.
A millennium later, young Alexander the Great conquered his way across the known world. In 332 BC, he laid siege to the Phoenician city of Tyre, and accounts from both sides report that shield-shaped silver objects appeared in the sky. One supposedly sent down a beam of light that destroyed the city walls. The residents of Nuremberg, Germany, had just such an experience on April 4th, 1561. On that day, the skies above the city filled with a chaotic array of tube-shaped objects and balls of light. Eyewitnesses called it a frightful spectacle. Chronicles of the time also report extraordinary displays over Basel, Switzerland during the summer of 1566. These events were depicted in primitive woodcuts made by eyewitnesses. However, it was the talented master artists that have left us the most fascinating images. In 1998, an Italian writer named Daniela Giordano earned an award for her landmark study of the enigmatic flying objects depicted by Renaissance artists.
She discovered that not only did the artist have these objects in the picture, but he also had people looking at these objects and shielding their eyes, as though the people were actually noting with amazement that something unusual was in the sky. It's unknown why the object's there, but it does appear, and it looks like a UFO.
They are round, they are cigar-shaped, and they are cylindrical. Some appear to be sleek and smooth, as if made of stainless steel, while others appear bolted together from some alien cast iron. At night, they are described as having flashing lights. They appear without warning, streak across the sky, and disappear. Many UFO films and photographs have been identified as natural phenomenon or hoaxes. But some UFOs appear in photos when we least expect them and defy explanation. Indeed, photos offer some of the most convincing evidence that extraterrestrial aircraft may be real. This series of photos remains among the most compelling examples of what ufologists call a daylight disk. The photographs were taken on July 29, 1952 by George Stock, outside of his lawnmower shop in Passaic, New Jersey. Stock reported that as he was working outside at 4:30 p.m., he looked up to see something unusual flying overhead. Using an inexpensive box reflex camera, he snapped pictures of what he described as a disc-shaped object with a metallic bottom. It hovered momentarily, then accelerated and flew away. This photograph is another of the more credible UFO pictures ever taken. It was snapped in Brazil by a government survey team in 1958.
A Brazilian naval photographer on a ship was there with the rest of the men when they saw an object shaped like Saturn, in other words, an object with a ring around it, flying toward an island that they were near, Trinidad Island, flying around the island and then taking off in the distance. And he snapped 4 or 5 or so or more photos of the object with literally dozens and dozens of witnesses.
The sighting lasted nearly 2 minutes. First, the object was reported to have approached the island, then it disappeared behind a mountain. It then reappeared before moving off at high speed toward the sea.
This is clearly a structure that somebody built. It doesn't look like anything that we have on Earth. There were all these witnesses who saw the picture being taken. For these reasons, the photographs are unusually evidential and have to figure in any kind of case for the reality of UFOs as somebody's technology.
Because this is a multiple witness case done by scientists and a professional photographer, and it has many photographs, it probably has to be taken seriously as the #1 photographic case in UFO history.
Soon after the photos were taken, Brazil's president, Juscelino Kubitschek, ordered them released to the press. His action stands in stark contrast to the apparent secrecy of official UFO inquiries in the United States, beginning with the Roswell incident in 1947. Even today, requests for government records are routinely refused. Documents that are released are often censored to the point of uselessness. Perhaps it is no surprise that many suspect a government cover-up and conclude that unidentified flying objects may indeed originate somewhere other than Earth.